Welcome to the second edition of 10 tips and tricks you absolutely need to know about Starfield. Our last 10 covered a lot and you guys showed a lot of appreciation, so I figured I'd have to come back and give you guys some more, and I think we got some good ones here and some that you guys just might not have realized, so let's get right into it. So for tip number 1, you're going to want to head to the Nerion system, located to the top right of the Sol system and to the top right of the Alpha Centauri system. From there, you're going to want to head to the Stroud Eklund Star Yard, located on the Dalvik moon. Now, upon reaching there, go ahead and just dock like normal. Now, I will recommend that you're going to absolutely need a booster pack, so if you haven't yet started getting into that, you're going to want to use a skill point and get 1 or 2. I have tier 2 or 3, one of the two, and it works absolutely fine. All I'm saying is you don't need the last tier. You probably only need the first tier, to be fair. Once you enter, head to the showroom back here. You're going to see this wall with the Stroud Eklund and all these ship parts. You're going to want to aim for right around here. This will allow you to walk through it and just leave the map. Now, I found it best to try and put your back to the wall and just keep pushing up against it until eventually you'll pop out like this. Now you're going to want to use your booster pack to stay up behind this little ship part here, and I'm going to show you it now in a good perspective. So you're leaving around this area to the left. When you jump out, you're going to want to move to the right and catch the ledge right here to the far right ship part. And you're going to want to get just behind it. You can glitch inside of it, but if you do that, it'll try to push you off. So you're going to want to stand just behind it like I am, where I'm not phasing through it. Once you get your boost pack energy back, go ahead and jump around this corner and just catch this ledge like so. This will not push you off. This chest right here is 160,000 credits. Go ahead and take it, and there's nothing more to it. That was it. So you get 160,000 credits, and it's stolen, not contraband, so you don't have to worry about scans. Just fall off to get back into the star station like I did, and that is how you can get back. Now, you can do it just like that and be perfectly fine. You can have 160k in the bank and move on like nothing ever happened. Or you can head over to Venus in the Sol system, go ahead and land anywhere, and go and wait on the planet, either in your ship or in an outpost or anywhere, for 24 hours. Venus, for some reason, has the best universal time reset rate, we'll call it. So go ahead to Venus and do that. Just head back like we did before, and upon getting back to this chest, you will realize that the 160k is back for you to grab, and go ahead and take it, and you can just keep doing this. I was averaging about 3.5 minutes to grabbing the chest and resetting on Venus and getting back. So in about an hour, you can make about 3 million credits. For tip number 2, did you know that each companion can actually give you something? If you open their dialogue, every now and then they'll have an option asking if you have anything interesting for us. And actually, they all give you something. But Andrea's a little different in the sense that she will actually give you credits. Now, it's only a couple of hundred. I've usually averaged about 300 to 500. But it's a good way, especially if you don't like to do glitches and exploits, to make a little extra cash on the side. Now, for tip number 3, just a quick heads up. If you don't want any spoilers for the Crimson Fleet questline or UC Vigilance, just skip to the next one. But for anyone that wants to stay, upon choosing and siding with the Crimson Fleet and celebrating, speak to Neva and ask her if you're still a rook. She'll obviously say no, and she will give you a key to a captain's room. Just head out the main doors, and to your left, you're going to see a room with 07. This room is now yours, and you have full reign over it in the sense that you can actually decorate it any way you want. It comes with a bed and some nice wall decals of the Crimson Fleet, and it's super cool. I cannot confirm if the UC Vigilance gives you anything like it, because obviously I didn't side with them. But I thought this was a pretty neat thing and a good tip because a lot of people might just hurry up after, take their credits and go spend it at the bar, and maybe they won't actually sit there and talk to Neva. Now this next one's a little bit schemy, but it's actually completely legal. In your settings, go to gameplay and switch your difficulty to very hard. Now your difficulty affects damage, of course, but it also increases your chance of finding legendary enemies. But here's where it gets a little schemy. If you enter an instance on very hard, as in entering a building, landing on a planet, etc., once you land or enter, you can actually kind of cheat the system. All you're going to have to do is upon entering, just switch the difficulty to the farthest left, very easy, or really just to any difficulty you want, it doesn't matter. It will change the damage right away, but for some odd reason, the legendary enemies already spawned, so you will be able to just go ahead and find all those enemies and take them out super easy on easy. Of course, they're going to have the legendary drops, so you can almost farm legendaries using this method. It's a little bit schemy, but honestly, it's completely legal in the sense that you're not doing anything out of the ordinary except changing your settings. Now, this next one is a perk one. And actually, we're going to have a couple perk ones coming up because they kind of don't tell you some things. Like rejuvenation in the physical spot, actually at the max tier will regenerate health while you're in combat and will obviously regenerate extremely fast outside of combat. So if you really have a struggle with keeping a lot of med packs or things that give you health on you, or really just don't want the carry weight, then you can honestly just get this perk and not have to worry about it. And not to mention, it's kind of free and passive in the sense that you don't have to activate it or do anything crazy, and it'll just go ahead for you. But the only thing I will let you know is that rejuvenation is at the bottom of the tree. So that means it's going to take a bit to get there. But if you're not the greatest at combat or something, and you need a little bit of help by getting some health back while you're fighting, or you run out of med packs or something of the sort, this perk is amazing to have, and I really think more people need to know about it. Now, another perk one they don't really kind of throw in your face too much that they probably should is Deception. At the max tier of Deception, ships 50% stronger will automatically surrender to piracy demands. While that's great in itself, a lot of people overlook the second part. Enemy contraband scans are 50% less effective. That means you have a 50-50 chance of actually getting past these scans. People aren't exactly looking into this too much, but I thought that was a good tip to bring up for my pirates out there. The pilot skill in the tech skill tree is one of the most important ones yet. And why? Well, you may not know if you don't actually open it up, which I bet you a lot of people won't. Rank 3 and 4 is how you can actually pilot Class B and Class C ships. And that also means you have to reach that point in piloting to be able to even equip your ships with that level of stuff. So if you want your ship to be stronger and just more capable, get piloting up as soon as possible. Scanning is one of the most important perks in the game, and it's in the science skill tree. A lot of people might not understand why, because when you read it, you're like, oh, it can detect some stuff and tells me some information about ships. If you enlarge it and actually look at rank 4, nobody cares about the first part. Well, I mean, you probably do, but let's just look at the second part. You gain a complete list of cargo on ships in space. That means you don't even have to worry about taking care of a ship you don't want to. In other words, if you look at a ship and see it's holding like thousands of credits, that could be a ship to prioritize and attack. If you see a ship has nothing but like one resource, well, what's the point in wasting your ship's health and ship parts and everything when you don't have to? So this is really good in the sense that you can check and just move on and not deal with things you don't need to. In the social skill tree, the perk Negotiation has something at rank 4 I don't think a lot of people pay attention to. At rank 4, occasionally bribery won't cost any money. If you realize what I'm saying by this is that you can get almost and practically guaranteed success in anything you're trying to persuade with without even having to lose your credits. It's something that I don't think a lot of people look at, and definitely really good for people that don't want to use too much credits because maybe they're not a big fan of exploits and glitches. For tip number 10, and our final one, this one is something I don't think a lot of people think about. In the sense that if you have bounties and you don't really feel like getting caught when you go into your next place, you can use these self-serve kiosks to actually pay it off. But most of these kiosks are in the places that you have bounties, so you can't even get to them. You can actually build these in your outpost and access them. And in the bounty clearance service kiosk, you can actually just pay off the fine here, so that way next time you try to enter one of these cities, you can do it without having to worry about having any hassle.
And there's all the 10 tips and tricks you absolutely need to know. But there's 10 more tips and tricks that you can get to right now. Hit the video on the screen and you'll be taken to actually the original video for this idea. There you'll find even more tricks and tips, and trust me when I say you probably don't know them all.
So thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe if you're new here, like this video if you want some more Starfield content, and of course, comment some ideas or some opinions about the video, or if it really just helped you, tell me your favorite chunks type too. I'm very curious to see what flavor you guys find to probably be the most best tasting one. So anyway, thank you everybody so much. You guys really showed the support on the first one, and I just can't wait to do more Starfield content with all of you. So thank you everyone for coming along on this journey, and I'll see you guys out there in the Starfield.